Hello, welcome back. My name is Ari, and it's that time of the month again where I use Dungeons of Books, my board game here, to pick my TBR for the month. Now, if you are new to my channel this year, you might not know that I change my Dungeon of Books board every year. And I change the game itself. It's always called Dungeon of Books, but the way I play it changes. It's always played with a D20, but outside of the D20, how I choose my prompts differs every single year. There are playlists and videos on my channel if you want to go back and look at different boards. But this is the last time you will be seeing this particular board. So let's have some fun with it. Hopefully it's nice to me this month. With the 31 days of books, I don't have a whole lot of time to read, but we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Let's quickly go over November's TBR, what I read, what I haven't, before we get into the last one of the year. So prompt number 1 was a Goodreads Choice book. Goodreads Choice comes out in November, and for this, I didn't have a book set at the beginning of the month because I didn't know what would be nominated. But let's just say that I have completed this. I had 9 books read already when it was announced, and I needed to read 11. I have read 10 out of those 11, and I am currently working on the final book. So I'll just say Day of Fallen Night is what I read for this prompt. I could put in anything. This one just happened to be literally right behind me and very easy to grab. Prompt number 2 was a busy cover, and for that I read System Collapse by Martha Wells. This was an ARC. It's from the Murderbot Diaries series, and it is fantastic as always. Prompt number 3 was a randomly generated author name, and I got the letter R and chose to read No Visible Bruises by Rachel Louise Snyder, so Rachel R. I did finish this. It's a difficult read just because of the subject matter. It's about domestic abuse, but I think it's very educational. And I can't say I enjoyed it, but I learned a lot from it. Next up was Disfigured by Amanda Leduc. I started it, I barely got into it. Haven't finished it, kind of ran out of time. So it technically counts because I started it, but I really didn't get much in here. This is going on my pile of shame and will probably roll into 2024. Then I had Free Choice, and for that I chose to read Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. 5-star read. I'm so glad that I picked this to read, but it came out in November, and the day that it got delivered to my house, I read the whole thing. Fantastic. Super sweet, super cuddly. Highly recommend. My audiobook for the month was a book called Period, which I started, but haven't finished. I don't think I'll get it done this month, but I'll get it done in December for sure. But I'm like 75% of the way through. I just ended up switching over to some of the Goodreads Choice books for audiobooks and haven't had time to finish that one. And for the series continuation, I did finish the Book of the Ancestor series by Mark Lawrence. I started everything, didn't finish all of it, but did give it a shot, did give everything a start. Not perfect, but decent enough. So let's get into December's TBR and start with the jars. First up, we will take our Chris Gaines mug and come up with an audiobook that I'm going to listen to in December. We're going to do this one, which is a book I've already read. This is Strange Beast of China. Like I said, I've already read it, so let's come up with a different one. This one. Tremors in the Blood. Tremors in the Blood seems to be a true crime nonfiction about the invention of the lie detector. So that sounds kind of interesting. I don't remember picking this book up, but interesting enough. I'll go ahead and read it, and I'm not mad about it. Next up is the series jar. Hopefully it's something nice and short, because I got a lot of reading plans for this month. Oops. didn't work out. Okay, this one. This one feels right. This is the Chimera series, which I may have already finished. Again, pulled out something that I've already read. We're gonna pull again. I thought I've updated these, but apparently I have not, or I just missed things. Let's go with, there's two there. I want this one. And this is, oh my God. You guys are not gonna believe this, but again, it's the Deeds of Paxenarian. This is like the 4th time this year that I have drawn this out of this jar, and I have yet to finish the second book. I keep DNFing it in the month that I've assigned to read it, and then throwing this thing back in here, which is going back in there anyway because there's a 3rd book, even if I do manage to make it through. But let me go grab it. Divided Allegiance, Book 2 in the Deeds of Paxenarian, which you can see I've started. I'm not too far in. I am about 150 pages in. So I've got a decent start on it, but not really. The first time I DNF'd it because the character that Pax was traveling with was like the most annoying, hateful, misogynistic asshole. And I just could not read his gaslighting. But then he died. Spoilers, sorry. He's not an important character. But yeah. And then I was like, okay. And then I don't remember why I stopped reading after that. I probably just ran out of time in the month. But I got a little bit farther, got past that character, and then put it down again and never picked it back up. So December is the month. I will get through this book in December. Cups are done, let's get into the actual rolls. Roll number 1, we had a random number generator. Focus. Thank you. This one's pretty straightforward. I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 378. I have 378 books on my want to read list on Goodreads, and whatever number that comes up is the book on Goodreads that I'm going to read. And that number is 257, as you can see. And yeah, 257 is a book called The Druid by Jeff Wheeler. I don't know what this book is about. I don't know why it's on my TBR list. It looks like I own it, maybe? Like I probably got this through like Amazon First Reads or something like that. But it's on my Kindle. I guess I'm gonna read it. The Druid. I literally have no idea what this is about or why I have it, but it is there. Number 2, I got a 19 and got the buzzword challenge prompt. So every year, Kayla from Books and Lala puts together a monthly buzzword challenge where every month you get a buzzword and then you have to find a book where that buzzword fits in the title somewhere. Each month has a different buzzword. So December's buzzword is sound-related words. So one of the words in the title needs to be somehow related to a sound. For this one, I'm going to read Last Call by Elon Green. Call, like calling is a sound, like you call. It's a sound-related word, right? Yeah. This is my nonfiction for the month. I do try to put a nonfiction on every single one of these, and so this is it. This is true crime. Again, I didn't purposefully pick a bunch of true crime, but apparently we're doing a true crime month in December. And it's about a killer called the Last Call Killer who preyed on gay men in New York in the 80s and 90s. Next we rolled a 6 and got a random color generator. So I will randomly generate a color this time, and whatever color that is, the cover of the book that I pick needs to have that color or something close to it. Sometimes it's very hard to match the exact covers, but as long as it's like within the same color family, it's good enough. So far the board does not want to be very nice to me, and it's giving me a lot of very limited choices as far as my TBR. But let's generate this color, and we got this shade of purple. So darker-ish purple, I guess, on the cover. For this, I'm gonna read a new release romantasy called The Hurricane Wars. This is one of the top 10 nominations for the romantasy category on Goodreads Choice. And I wanted to read as many of those as I could this month. I don't think I'm gonna get through all 20, but I'm gonna do my best to get through as many as I possibly can. At least reading like the first book in all the series, so I can do a video this month where I'm like, where I tell you if these series, if any of these romantasy series are worth picking up. Number 4, we got a 13, and I got a prompt that's favorite color. So again with the colors, again with the limited choices, but my favorite colors are pink and yellow. So I found a book with both of them on there, and I am going to read A Fate of Wrath and Flame. I don't remember who it's by, I didn't write it down, but the cover is here, you can probably see who it's by. This specific book is not one of the nominees for Goodreads romantasy, but this is the first book in a series that is a nominee. So, again, something I wanted to read this month. I don't know anything about this other than it's some sort of fairy porn. And what is our final roll, because there was no doubles? I rolled a 14, which gives me LGBTQIA+. Yay. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, absolutely none of the romantasy nominees are queer in any way, shape, or form, which is disappointing to say the least. So for this, I'm going to be reading A Haunting on the Hill, or A Haunting on the Hill. I think this is the only book that's been approved by Shirley Jackson's estate. It's supposed to be very similar to The Haunting of Hill House. And I know that 2 of the main characters are wives, so that makes it sapphic. And so it fits the LGBTQIA prompt. Yay! Alright, and that's the last that we're seeing of this board. Not the greatest TBR, but also definitely not the worst. No extra rolls. I will tell you that next year's TBR game is going to be wildly different from anything that I've done so far. It's a lot more complicated, and I'm very excited to show it to you at the end of this month. So that's it. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye.